The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, JM, and Paul G. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's the word?
The word is... You tell me. What's new in town?
I don't know. Meghan Markle's still in town, I guess.
You know, I think your Meghan Markle reference, while funny, is very confusing to many of our listeners. So,
as they should be.
Katie May.
Yeah, what'd I say?
Well, I think, yeah, she kind of looks like Meghan Markle, and she kind of has some of similar personality traits, but...
Yeah.
That's past.
Okay.
Cell tower. We're gonna get more cell towers in town eventually.
So is everybody?
Katie May's efforts at taking over the city have failed.
Well, I mean, she has the right to say what she wants to say.
Sure, absolutely she does, but other people have the right to call her out for some of the nonsense. And you know, going back last week to the show, the whole thing with the mayor and her going at it at the meeting, watching the recording again, I think the mayor was right in stopping the meeting essentially and asking the legal counsel because she basically slandered the city staff and the consultant. She accused them of some things that are just factually wrong. So it's one thing if a resident comes up, states their opinion. So that should not become a Q&A. But if someone comes up there and says something that is just so blatantly false, and in this case, also, like I said, I think it bordered on slander. She questioned the integrity of people. I think it was right to have the corporation counsel and the city manager or the mayor himself respond to that briefly rather than because if you don't, here's what's going to happen then, Pete.
Yeah, it's a Q&A session. Yeah.
No, the next
Which
five
is what
speakers,
happened.
No, what's going to happen is the next 5 or 6 speakers who are against the cell tower would then come up and repeat the same lie. So it's
So what
better
was this?
when
Hold on.
it's
What
one
was
thing if
this
you come
like?
up and say, I don't think we should have this, I disagree with it, fine. Thank you. Next. Um, but when you go up there and you say something so patently false and attacking people's integrity, then I think you do stop, correct it for the record, and then move on,
Yeah, I
which is
agree
what he
with
did.
you. I agree with you, but do it if you're going to do an omnibus. What do you call it? Omnibus vote? Do an omnibus comment at the end when everybody's done. Or
Well, the problem, like I said, the problem is if you do it at the end, five or six more people are going to repeat it, and the more you repeat a lie, the more people believe it.
again,
I think you nip it in you nip it in the bud as soon as it's said. So I think they did the right thing. I mean, it's easy to second, you know, I've
well,
run
what
meetings.
if the city council makes a mistake? So the public doesn't have the right to correct the city council.
Yeah, they do. They have a right to correct them at the polling place. But
No, you know what I mean.
ultimately, I've
What
seen
do
meetings I've seen meetings get way out of control over the years because the board or the council of whatever elected started engaging in debates. That's not what the council did here. The council simply corrected patently false statements that were being made. He didn't correct residents that came up and said, I disagree with this, or I think
Yeah, he
it's
did.
unhealthy.
It's exactly what he did.
No, he
Right after
didn't. No.
right after Sheets spoke, he spoke.
After she spoke, yeah, but not
Yeah.
after every resident spoke. Because
Am
what
I
she said was very different than what most other residents said. Most other residents simply expressed their opinion, which they have every right to do. You have a right to your opinion, but you don't have a right to your own set of facts. She was coming up there with things that were just 100% false. And in that case, you do stop the meeting and you do correct it for the record because you don't have a right to come up at a council meeting and say things that are false and challenge
got
people's
three
integrity
minutes? You can
based,
go up there and
based
say
upon a
whatever.
false premise.
Joe, I
Be
hear
that,
stand,
that's
standing up for
minutia.
your government people. I hear you, brother.
I'm not
Stand
standing
up.
up for government. Like, there's a lot of government people that don't like me, Pete. I'd be happy to give you a long list of them. But I think in this case, it was right the way they handled it. And bigger picture, that's inside baseball stuff about comments at a meeting that most people didn't watch. The big picture here is the council did the right thing, the city did the right thing in moving forward on on expanding cell service for the community.
So at the end of the day, we get a tower by the dump. Is that what it is?
They're going to have, yeah, now you get a developer having the right to come in and put up a full tower, not just sticking things on the existing water tower, but put in a full standalone tower. And then let's see how it goes. As I said last week, and I say again today, I think at the end of the day, once you do all that, you're still going to need more cell towers elsewhere, and the metro station is a logical place to do that. But again, I don't think that should be a political decision. I think that should be a decision made by the experts in the cellular industry who make the investment in these towers. The city doesn't pay for these towers, the developers pay for it. Developers are not going to pay for a tower that doesn't enhance coverage.
Again, a Q&A session, when somebody comments, it has to be a two-way thing, Joe.
No, I disagree. And again, I think that's inside baseball stuff. But I think
What
when
you're a government
if
guy.
you come up if
What
you
what
come up to a meeting and express your opinion, fine, terrific. Okay. We all can agree to disagree. That's what democracy is all about. But democracy doesn't give you the right to stand up at a public meeting and yell fire in a crowded theater, which is essentially what she did.
Okay, what did she say? Let's get into it. What did she say, Joe?
She said they were violating their own ethics ordinance, which was false. And the attorney intervened and said, no, this is absolutely incorrect.
So
The,
she made a
the
hold
other
on. You have to be a little bit speak more simply. Katie said that the city was violating its ethics ordinance, but the ethics ordinance was for city employees, not for vendors. Is that the issue?
Correct. And also, she implied that there was a conflict of interest with using this vendor, and that's false. And she questioned his integrity on this, and again, false. The other time that they stepped in to correct things is because people kept saying you shouldn't put this up because it's on dangers to your health. And I think I would have done it a couple minutes earlier before the discussion started. That said, he did do the right thing in saying, hey, for the record, we cannot by law consider health issues in the location of the tower because if we do, we're opening ourselves up and the taxpayers up to some serious litigation from the federal government.
They could have just said, "Hey, here are the facts. At the everybody gets done speaking. Okay, great. You have everything.
Yeah, but
Everybody
if
gets
you
done
let that
speaking."
go for 30 minutes with people, because here's what would have happened if you did it your way, Pete.
Yeah,
Katie would have said what she said, and then the next person against the cell tower would have repeated half of what Katie said, and then the
but
next one, and the
anybody can
next one.
repeat
And like I
anything,
said,
though.
you tell a lie enough times, people believe it. And I think in that case, again, you have a right to express your opinion to the council at a public meeting. You do not have a right to say something that is factually incorrect and bordering on slander. That's the difference between that. So I think at the end, again, for the 12 people that watched the council meeting, right? Whatever. It could have been smoother, whatever. But the bottom line is the bottom line, and that is the decision made by the council was the right decision.
Okay, so everybody gets what they want. Is that correct?
I don't think everybody gets what they want. I think there's
Well,
some people that want it to stay exactly the way it is, but that's not going to happen.
so we're going to get a tower by the dump. So everybody gets it. So we get the tower. We should get better service, and then we're going to wait till things quiet down, and then we're going to put the tower over by the train station, anyways, right?
Well, we're not going to do anything. The developers will, the private industry. This simply allows that process to take place. The city gives the permission to do
Thanks
that.
for correcting that. But does it? At the end of the day, we're going to get another tower at
Yeah,
Bluff.
hopefully there are more towers in the city because I think we need them. And as I said, let's find it. Let's see what the data says. You should make decisions based on data. The
Hello,
data clearly
hello.
demonstrated, the data clearly demonstrated that there was a need for more towers, and particularly that quadrant of the city. Um, so let's put it up at the dump. Let's give it some time to for the signals to happen and all that stuff. And then let's go back and look and do more data to see where we're at on it. Maybe, and if there isn't a need to put it at the metro station, so be it. I think the metro station is a natural place to put it because it's city-owned property and there is plenty of precedent for putting cell towers in metro lots on the North Shore, and it has had zero effect on property values. Zero. In fact, in many cases, the property values have gone up in areas near the metro stations that happen to have cell towers. So, and the other thing on this is if you buy into the narrative that these towers are unsafe, which I don't agree with, I think they are safe. But if you buy into that, why then is it okay to put it up at the dump where our public works are? I mean, do we not care about them as much as we do about our residents? I mean, think about that. Again, I don't agree with that. I think that's a silly argument, and the FCC has proven that. It's more dangerous microwaving your bagel in the morning than it is uh, being by one of those towers. But if you buy into that argument, but then in the same breath you're saying, well, put it up by the dump. Well, we have public works workers there, so you don't care about them. I don't know. This
Whatever. We're getting the
information.
cell tower, and
Yeah,
the
step in the right direction.
next thing on the list, Friends of Park and Rec. I guess they're looking for board members. Hey, Scoo,
Well, The school should step up. I mean, I think, and we talked a little bit last week about the expense that the city was uh, writing them. What was it, 70?
Well, here I got a little. I'm going to read some notes here that somebody sent me talking about Friends of Park and Rec and the Parks and Rec Board, two separate things. Number one, the city
Well, there
pays
is no Parks and Rec board anymore, but yeah,
our
go on.
what do you call it?
Parks
Well,
and
yeah,
Rec
yeah,
department,
yeah. Okay, so you got the guy from Gurnee. What's his name? He's the Parks and Rec.
Mike,
Pence.
no.
Hold
Mike
on.
Pence is looking for work right now, so no.
Number one, the city pays about a third of the cost of the tree lighting and Fourth of July. Without the foundation getting the donations and sponsorships uh, for these events, they would cost the city about 100 grand each year. So just
Mike
just
Wick.
yeah,
And I think, I hate to pick on a co-host when he's not on the show this week, but
go right ahead.
um, I think
Finish
Mike
it.
Wick's doing a very good job. And I think, change is hard for some people. I, appreciate
I,
Sally's
what data do you
Sally
have?
Swarthout's years of service,
What
but
what data do you have to support that statement, Joe?
what data is the fields are fully utilized. There was a full presentation on that. So the idea that we're not fully utilizing the fields is wrong, incorrect.
There's no
Um,
money coming in from the fields.
right now, the council
That's a
made a
pretty big
decision.
matzo ball there,
Hold
Joe.
on, hold on. Let
Yeah,
me finish the sentence, Pete.
go right ahead, Joe.
The council made a decision not to have documents there because they felt that this was a city resource and that they didn't want to bring in outside tournaments. Now, if you disagree with that, that's a council decision. You take that up with the council. Mike Wick is simply implementing the decision that the council made. So to say Mike Wick isn't
But
doing
hold
his
on,
job
Joe.
is
You
just
said the
completely
city
false.
council put that city.
He has a long resume in the parks business and is well respected. I've spoken to park board members in other communities. He's very well respected
Then where's the
in the
money?
parks community.
Why is there no
The
money
money
coming in?
because the city council chose not to have
But the
tournaments. Now, if
city
you want to
council is the
go
one that said we're going to have money coming in. That's why we got to do the turf.
there,
See the problem?
the city council said the fields are going to be utilized, and there was a presentation. You can
Yeah.
go back and find it. I can go back and find it and give it to you.
That said money was going to come
There
in.
was a presentation showing the fields are uh, at full utilization. Now, I suppose you could pick a day that you walk by there on a Tuesday at 9 a.m. and it's not being used, but I mean the fields
Joe,
are being utilized, Pete.
Joe,
Don't buy
I
the
appreciate that you like
Susan
to answer your own.
Garrett garbage
Hey, Ronald
that is
Reagan,
not.
I know you like to answer your own questions, but mine still stands. Where is the money coming in? So when they did the
The money came in
presentation,
from the funding by the council to build them.
but
The
their
council,
presentation, hold on, Joe, the presentation they did to the public, they said some money was going to be coming in with these tournaments for the fields, and that money is
right,
not
but then
coming
the
in.
council made a decision
They
not to
changed
have
their mind.
tournaments.
Do you
Okay,
see the
whatever the
problem?
case is, that's again, but you can't hang that on Mike Wick. Okay, Mike Wick, if Mike Wick is told by the council hold tournaments, he'll hold tournaments. All right, that's unfair to
Whole
tell a
tournaments that
staff.
bring
That's
in
a
money,
council
not free
decision.
tournaments.
Okay, but here's the rationale against having the tournaments is the city
Hold
has
on,
made
Joe.
the
Why did the city say we're going to do
I
this?
don't
We're going to
know.
increase. Okay,
You'd
so
have to
that's a
ask them.
problem. That's a
We'll find
problem.
out next week because someone will correct it for us.
That's okay.
Um,
When you make the pitch and say we need this turf and here are the costs to you
we need
taxpayers
the
and we're going to
turf because
offset it with
kids weren't able
money.
to play games because the games were getting rained out half the time, even though it wasn't raining.
Joe, I appreciate your narrative, but at the end of the day, they said money was going to come in and it's not. And is it the city
And money,
council's
here's where the
problem or
money's
is it
coming
Mike
in.
Wick's problem?
Pete, here's where the money's coming in. It's coming in reduced maintenance costs.
I know where
Okay,
it's
it
not
costs a
coming in.
lot less to maintain those fields than it used to. You're getting much more utilization of it than you used to. So, and more importantly, unlike the school district, our taxes have not gone up because of it. So, and they put in these pickleball. You don't play pickleball. I really don't play pickleball, but they put in these pickleball courts that people wanted, which is, by the way, one of the reasons they had to redo the tennis courts over in West Park was because they lost some tennis courts um, in the Deer Path when they put the pickleball in by the playing fields.
Why is there no
So
money coming in, Joe? Because the city council said
because the
so.
city doesn't need it, the
Oh, they
city
don't
made a
need to. Oh, wait,
decision
hold on. Say that again.
because the city made a decision they would rather have this utilized by the people that are paying for it, the taxpayers, rather than having the vast majority of it was paid for by the taxpayers. Okay. So you bring in some revenue for it, it's what, 5 or 10%, but then you're reducing the amount of time that our residents get to use it. So if you want to have these tournaments, great, but that means less use by our local organizations. And the council in their judgment said it's more important that the people who
So
field
was there a
and who pay
presentation
the
that
excuse me
supported
and who
that?
paid the taxes to pay for this field and continue to pay the taxes to pay for everything in the city, that they should get first crack
So
at
what,
it instead of bringing in these outside
so your
tournaments.
statement is that there isn't enough time for the fields to do tournaments. Is that what you're saying?
Saying it's fully utilized now. There was a whole presentation on this a few months ago
I'm just asking
at
the
the
question,
council, and I can
Joe.
I
What
can dig
you're
it
saying?
up and
No,
show
you're
it.
saying what you're saying is there isn't time to do tournaments on the field. Is that what you're saying?
If you want to let all the community groups like the Little League and stuff use it, no, there isn't.
So they didn't know this before they made the pitch that said, "Hey, we can
That I
save
don't know.
money."
I mean, that was when okay. Now look, I don't mean to pick on Sally, but that was when Sally was the parks director. Okay, so you'd have to go back and ask her
I'm
because
not asking Sally. I'm asking the Parks and Rec people. I'm asking the Wick guy. I'm asking the city
Wick is
council.
doing what he's told to do very well.
If Wick said, "Hey,
So
I got $1 million sponsor to come in and do a tournament
they
and
don't
present
have a
it to the
million
board,"
dollars. Pete, no one's going to spend $1 million to sponsor
how
a
much will they
tournament in
spend?
Lake Forest.
How much will they spend, Joe?
Not enough to justify
Okay,
taking it away from existing groups using it.
so no
Okay.
data. You have no data.
So if you want this to be the North Shore fields, go right ahead. But we paid for this. We should get first crack at this. Our kids, our organization should get first crack at
We
this.
should get it
Okay.
all. We should have first crack and we should have money coming in because it's not 100% utilized. It's just not.
When is it not utilized? Tuesday at 10 a.m.? Yeah, there's no game at Tuesday at 10 a.m. You're right.
You
So if somebody wants to hold a tournament on Tuesday at 10 a.m. when it's not being used, go right ahead.
All right,
Pete,
Joe. So hold on.
there's a whole presentation on
I
this
know, and
that
I
showed it
sat
was
in
fully
hey Joe,
utilized.
I sat in the workshops for this thing. I didn't see you
Okay.
there. Okay, number one. Number
All right,
two,
fair enough.
when I'm
But
when you cannot continue to go to the public and say you're going to do things and not follow through because you know what? I don't trust them. Anybody wants money, I'm saying no. Even more,
they didn't. But Pete, did they raise your taxes?
did they? There's less money coming in,
No,
so eventually,
no, they
I think they
didn't.
will. You have the grocery tax coming through.
Grocery
We
tax
got
was
3
simply
million
no.
surplus, Joe.
Grocery tax was simply replacing the
It's
tax that was
500
already
grand.
there that Pritzker played a game with so that he could get reelected in 2022. Okay, that's all that was. Tax was always there. Now you want to take it away and completely eliminate it, like the governor tried to do, then have the governor pay for it.
Joe,
Okay, that's an
you
unfunded
had somebody
mandate.
come in and sell us a bill of goods on something. Oh, we did get new
Sally
turf. That's
Swarthout?
good. We did get it. We got new turf, but the premise on what they said they were going to do and what they did, they misled us.
Well, I mean, if you
Yes,
want to
they
take it
did.
away from the existing
Hey,
Little League
Joe, I'm not
use
taking
to pay
anything
for
away. They misled us.
who's they?
Just did.
Sally Swarthout?
The people in the room that made a presentation
Who
for the
was the
million
people in the
dollars,
room?
huh?
You were in the room. I wasn't. So tell me,
Me, Scoo, the Parks and Rec Board, Prue
who
Beidler,
made the
Melanie
presentation?
Rummel, everybody did. And
Melanie Rummel? You're
the
going to go on what
consulting
Melanie Rummel
the
said?
consulting group. Judy, you're trying to hop a ride on nothing, Joe.
I'm
Look,
just saying,
we got
look, but back
misled.
to
We got
and
misled.
look,
Just own
hey
up.
Pete,
Yes,
Pete, if regardless of that,
misled.
that's not Mike Wick's fault. Mike Wick wasn't here when that presentation was made. Wick for being deceptive. Mike Wick is following up on the decision that the city made. So if you think it's a bad
So if
decision,
I would ask for
tell the
Mike
city.
Wick's
Don't tell Mike Wick. He's
records,
doing what he's told to do
s-
and doing a pretty good job of it.
has he reached out to anybody to get any sponsorships for anything?
Yeah, he's doing a
What?
lot of stuff. Okay, and
What?
the argument that he's not talking to Kemper, that's nonsense. I've heard from multiple people now that that the statement that Mike Wick is not meeting with Kemper is completely 100% false.
Who cares about Kemper? I care
Well,
about
he just
where's the
talked about
money?
sponsorships. They're
Where's
a
the
big.
money? They're 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 providing a service. I don't know if that's a sponsorship, Joe.
Have our taxes gone up?
Is that your go-to? Is that all you got? Like,
Yes,
how much are they
because
paying
here's
you? Is city council paying you,
pay
Joe?
me zero. You know what they pay me? They pay me and you and every other resident the lowest property tax rate in Lake County. And it
Why
would
are
be
you
even lower if the school district was run as efficiently as
are
the
you
city.
okay? Are you okay when governments make a public pitch to you for your money and they don't follow through?
They
You
didn't get my
okay?
money. Did they raise my taxes to do that? No. Matt Montgomery made a public pitch to do things, and he said he would rebate it. He hasn't. So I think if you have
Same
anger
thing.
about that, you should direct that to Matt Montgomery and the school board, not to the city council. The city council hasn't raised your taxes, Pete. You have the
Joe,
lowest tax rate in the
Joe,
county.
Joe, we're talking about integrity here. They said they were going to do something and they didn't, and they reneged.
All right.
That's
Well,
all.
we can
They
go
did.
back and see that. Maybe that was the former parks director that said that. I don't know. I wasn't here during that discussion. I don't
We've
know.
talked about this so many times on this show, Joe, about tournaments and money coming in for tournaments. And now all of a
Right.
sudden you're like, well, the city council said we don't need it anymore and everything's
They
fine.
did. Go back to the
Uh,
presentation. They made a
they-
whole presentation about this, Pete.
Okay.
Why, do you know,
Because
how
I
much
was at the
revenue do you,
presentation when they
hold on,
said they were going to bring in
Pete,
money and they're
how
not.
much revenue do you really get from these
Zero.
tournaments versus
Nothing.
what? No, but if you
Nothing.
held them, no, you didn't
Nothing.
answer me, Pete. How much revenue, if you held the tournaments like you want to do, how much revenue would it actually bring in?
An attempt is worth
How
so
much?
much. An attempt, zero attempt. One is greater
10
than zero,
bucks?
Joe. They're
100
doing
bucks?
nothing.
How
Even
much?
do you think
And
that
then you're going to, and for what, for the
should,
cost of that revenue, you're going to tell the local Little League, too bad, so sad, we got a tournament this weekend.
okay,
Because that's when these,
are you
you know, when
100%
do you
certain
know
that's
when the
true, Joe?
tournaments want it, do you know when the tournaments want to use these facilities?
One,
The
Joe.
same times our kids want to use these facilities, Pete.
Every single
And every one of those
24
kids has a
hours a
parent
day.
that pays taxes here.
So there's where it's a completely locked out. There's no way a
So if
tournament
you
can be
if you
played.
say to them, we're going to
You
hold
said it's
these
100%,
tournaments,
and I don't believe that either, Joe.
it's not no one said it's 100%.
You said they're
But
completely booked. That's what you said. They don't
no,
have
I
time for
didn't say that.
tournaments.
I said
Yeah,
there
you
are
did.
plenty of times you can, the prime times are completely booked. Yes. But no tournament is going to say, I want to hold it on Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning, Pete. They want the times that our Little League wants. So you're
Have
going to
they
bump the Little League kids for this?
have they even tried, Joe? Do we
Yeah,
know
they
if they've
studied
even
it.
tried? They did.
Again, they did a whole utilization study of this. And that's why they're doing what they're doing, Pete. They didn't just pick this out of their head. Okay? They did a study on
And
this.
if
There was
they
a
did a
whole
study,
study at
Joe,
the council meeting on
before they
this.
even broke the ground, they did a study, and they
That was
said these are the.
okay. Yeah, the previous park director.
Leave Wick out of it. Let's just talk about
Okay,
the
well,
people that
but
put this turf in there. Look, Wick's there now. He should at least be bringing in sponsorships that covers his salary. That
but
that's
there were far more reasons to justify the fields than just holding tournaments. It was that kids could play, that there would be lower maintenance costs, and guess what? There are lower maintenance costs because it's a lot cheaper once you put it in to maintain a turf field than a grass field. Okay, so we are saving money here, and we're getting our programs, our Little League kids, using those fields more than ever before. So that's a win for the taxpayers. Why were we paying for fields that we weren't getting to use half the time? That doesn't
that's
make any sense to
that's
me
an
as a
argument I'm
taxpayer.
not fighting with that, Joe. I'm fighting against you saying the fields are 100% used, and that's
I
false.
never said 100%. I said the prime times are being utilized.
Okay. And prime
Okay.
time is
And
what?
that the tournaments want are taken by our Little League.
Okay.
Just telling you.
Okay. And you're accepting it's okay for no money to come in for the fields. You're fine with it.
I would love to have money come into the fields, but not at the expense
That's
of
not the kind of love I'm
the
looking for,
children
Joe.
of parents who've already paid taxes here. Okay, the Little League should get, don't you think, do you think the Little League should get priority over an outside tournament?
Do you think that if it's not 100% utilized,
You didn't answer my question. Do you
you
think,
can
yes or no, Pete? Do you think
you
the
already
Little League
answered
should
my
get,
question. It's not 100% use, Joe. And you're saying
so you
prime
think the Little League kids should
you're
play on Tuesday at
you're
9:30 in
using
the morning?
you're using a subjective term of prime time. What I'm going back to you with that I'm having a hard time understanding is you're okaying the fact that Mike Wick isn't bringing any money in on the off times or giving us the opportunity of bringing in money in the off.
There was a utilization study done. I'll pull it. You can go pull it from the meeting. It's on the city website. So there's nothing hidden here. There's no dark secrets. It was fully talked about at a meeting a few months ago. I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but it was talked about.
I know. And
We didn't talk about it that week because I didn't think it was that big a deal. It's not
no, Joe,
until
but it's talked about after
we
the
started
gate is
throwing bombs
closed.
at this guy for doing his
You,
job. And
do,
regardless, even, let's say you're right. Let's say we should shame on us for not having these tournaments. That has nothing to do with Mike Wick. Zero. He's doing it because if Mike Wick is told hold tournaments,
if
he'll
he's a
hold
director,
tournaments.
is he responsible for revenue income for the city?
He's responsible for running the park system the way that the city wants it run. And he's
Okay.
doing that. He's doing fine.
There should be an inflow of money coming in somewhere.
If he's told to do that, he'll do that. I'm sure.
Well,
Okay. And there's revenue
okay,
coming in other programs, Pete. It's not
I'm
like
talking
we're
about
hurting
park.
for,
I'm talking
it's not
about
like
parks.
the city's hurting for, the city's not asking for a tax hike here, Pete.
So you're against new money coming in?
I'm all for it, but not at the expense of taking stuff away from our Little League kids.
Didn't say that. If you cannot take stuff,
But that's the
hold on,
only way
Joe.
you can do it.
Hold on. Are you sure
That
about
go
that,
look at
Joe?
the
Are you
utilization
sure?
study.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes or no?
Tell me how you can
Just say
hold
yes or no.
tournaments.
Yes, Pete, I'm sure, and I'll move on.
Yes, because
Okay,
how because no one can tell me how you hold these tournaments at the same time that the Little League kids want to play.
Joe, the 2 points that I have, and we got to move on from this because even I'm getting sick of this. Number one, they made the pitch for this turf. They said they're going to do things. They got the deal, and then they switched the terms. I don't
But
trust them,
all
just
right,
like
but there were
Montgomery did.
many other reasons to
But that's what
justify
they
this
did.
turf.
That's
But
what they did.
Pete, if you
They
took the
changed it.
tournaments, Pete, if you took the tournaments out of that justification, it would still have been justified because we're saving money in the long run. We're saving money now, Pete,
Joe,
with these fields. Do you not want us to save money?
Joe,
Are you
nice
against
try.
us saving
Nice.
money? I mean,
Are you
when
against
did you
money
stop
coming
beating
in,
your
Joe?
wife, Pete?
Are you against new money coming in? When did you turn to be a
I
Democrat?
am all for new
Not
revenue
really.
coming in, but
Not
not at
really.
the expense of the Little League.
You're okay? You
Because
didn't
that's
say
is that
that.
fair to me as a
Hey,
tax?
Jeff Urso, welcome.
If I have a kid in Little League, is it fair to that kid that and I pay taxes to the city? Is it fair that some outside tournament from Fox Lake comes in and gets the
Joe, do you
field
have
over
that
my
written on the back
kid?
of your business card? You said it 12 times. The fields are not
Because you keep
100%
bringing it, you brought
occupied.
it up 12 times. That's why.
They're not 100% occupied and there's no money coming in for those
Again,
fields.
you're right and I'm wrong on the field utilization. That has nothing to do with Mike Wick.
If you're the director of Parks and Rec, you're the director
If
that's
you're the director of
inflow of
Parks and Rec,
money.
you do what the city manager and the city council tells you to
Spoken like
do.
a true government worker. You know what? Take
No, it's spoken
initiative
like
and find a
anybody that works
sponsor,
in
bring money in.
Pete, if you didn't do what your boss told you to do, you'd be shown the door a lot faster than most government workers would.
No, because I work for the government. Nobody can fire me.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you. You just made my point.
All
But
right.
he's doing a very good job, and I think it's unfair to make Mike Wick the punching bag for
I think
things
he's part of the
that he had
punching
nothing to do
bag. I
with.
think it's part of the system, Jeff. My problem is when they put in that turf and they made the pitch, they
Mhm.
said, here are the costs going to be. And to offset the costs, they said money's going to come in from outside sources. And I'm pissed that no money's coming in from the outside sources. Now Joe's saying, sorry, the field is 100% occupied and there's no time to bring in tournaments or bringing outside money. And that's where I'm saying Joe's full of shit. Hi, Jeff.
But
How's your
I'm
week?
is
saying
it
you're
is it
full of it.
is it genuine? So if it is full, I get that point. But if it's not full, I would like to see outside tournaments. But if it's full, it's full. I mean,
It's
residents,
full.
then it's
No,
full.
it's not. How could it be full?
I'm
How?
trying to find, I'm finding the presentation that you obviously didn't see when they
Here,
did it.
here's your here's a presentation, Jeff, that I have an issue with, and I'm sure we lost all 12
Athletic
listeners.
field usage fees. Back.
We started off, Jeff, with Friends of Park and Rec and the Park and Rec board gone, and then dealing with the Mike Wick, the Parks Rec director. First thing is, what was the value of the Parks and Rec, Friends of Park and Rec? And then somebody sent me a note that if we didn't have the Friends of Park and Rec, number one, the city pays about a third of the cost of the tree lighting and Fourth of July. Without the foundation getting the donations and sponsorships for these events, it would cost the city about 100 grand a year. Number two, every dollar the foundation gets is spent on the events or items for the Parks and Rec. New commercial grill, I guess they bought in 2024, and a sailing boat 2025. Save the city 35 grand as the city would pay for these items if the foundation wasn't around. Number three, everything the foundation does is approved and decided by the city. We report to them. Because the question that I have is Friends of Park and Rec, would that be an NGO, a non-government organization?
Yeah, I mean it's the boosters. I mean, listen, anyone that volunteers time and does stuff like that, I support. I mean, that's great. They're trying to help the community. Where I butt head, not butt heads. That's the wrong term.
Yeah.
I sometimes think they need more input. Is Friends of Rec again? They try to do really cool things, but they go over the top. The country concert, I think, was one of the big things with two stages. I mean,
Yeah.
getting ready for 100,000 people with 3,000 people showing up. And
That's being
at a
kind.
great cost to the city because you had a lot of police officers and fire department, et cetera. So stuff like that. So I don't think their motive is wrong. I mean, I appreciate all the people doing all this stuff for it. Um, me, I think that some other things I don't like, and Lake Bluff is just as guilty as this on some things, is they bring in outside vendors a lot when I know the door is not open to everyone. I know there's not. I'm in the know. Like I'm always talking to everybody, so I know when these
Yeah.
events are happening. But not everyone's getting that knock on their door saying, "Hey, do you want to do this event or that event?" And they're bringing in outside food trucks and stuff like that. So that's the part I always don't like.
So I agree with you. I think the issue with, and back to the original issue that was brought up, the council having to approve, was it 70,000, I believe it was, to the foundation. Like,
Yeah.
why is that happening? The foundation is very good at fundraising, but as you
Is
just
it?
said, they probably shouldn't be in the business of running the event.
Right.
And I think that's going to change. I think you're going to see now again that now that you have a Parks and Rec professional there, that
Mhm.
you're going to see the city take that over and the foundation go back to its rightful place of being a fundraising organization, not an event planning organization. I
And
understand
I
they
think they
even
were trying to
they
use the
had to hire an
events.
event planner to do some of these things because none of their board members wanted to do it because they thought they were getting in this to raise, not to run events.
Well, and I think that's
So,
the problem, though, Joe. In their mind was some of these events raised money, right? So the idea was, hey, we'll charge vendors to come in. We'll make them do sponsorships. We will blah blah blah. So we'll collect cash from this. We're selling tickets. So ideally, on paper, they're like, hey, this is going to make money. But as well as I do, that stuff that never works out the way you plan.
right. So I think
So
they're better off just
yeah,
raising
and
the
I
money,
think they need
reaching out to
come on.
the
Yeah.
very charitable citizens of this city that step up for a lot of things in the
Yeah,
city,
and
whether it's the
kudos, honestly,
boardwalk, whether
kudos
it's
to all those people that are part
yeah,
of this. I mean, they're volunteering their time. So I mean,
yeah.
it's not fair to attack them on any issue. They're volunteering their time to make the city a better place. So kudos to them. Like I said, it's just the execution of of some of the events that I'm like, oh, okay, I think we could do
Yeah, but
better.
again, this is where I think now you have staff in place that know how to do this stuff and
Sure.
have done this stuff elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, and the city, it's naive to think that the city wasn't involved in these events anyways, because you had the police, you had the fire department, you had the public works
Mhm.
guys all there anyways. You had Parks and Rec staff. So it makes sense to go back to let's have our professionals that come to work every day. That's part of what they do. They have experience and a good track record doing that elsewhere. Have them run it and put the foundation, restore the foundation back to its original intent of being a fundraising group, not an event planning group. And to the point about the local vendors, I think there's a lot of people who have heard this, thanks in part to you, Jeff, and this show. So I think we're going to see some changes there on that for some future events, whether,
I
tree
mean, look,
lighting.
I
The
got a
two the
few up.
two big events that we're talking about at this point are the tree lighting on Black Friday and the 4th of July. And next year is the 250th birthday of America.
Yep.
So maybe we'll have just as the bicentennial 50, those of us old enough to remember the bicentennial 50 years ago, I know you weren't. Um, uh, Things got really jazzed up that year in 1976 for stuff. So I think we'll see a really classy event next year on 4th of July. So, and hopefully the foundation can help in raising the funds to
Well, Friends of
support those
Park and
Hey,
efforts
Rec.
by the city.
real quick, I got an idea. Like tree lighting, give it to Left Bank and give it to LFG. Like, what restaurants are being affected by this deer path thing?
Absolutely.
Go in for free. And this is all I've ever said to Lake Bluff too. And this is what drives me crazy, right? Lake Bluff, right now they got, the, they bring outside vendors and they park a similar business in front of another business down there. It's always insane.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm with you on that.
So the in-town businesses, right? Waive the fees for it. Let them do all this stuff for free. And if you need to bring in an outside vendor, charge equitable because you are staffing with police, fire, and public works. Charge them a fee because otherwise we're subsidizing these businesses to make a profit when they come in. So that's all I gotta say. You still could have healthy competition. You could bring some, we don't have a lobster truck in Lake Forest. If someone wants to bring a lobster truck
Or
in,
the chestnuts roasting on an open fire that they do
charge them.
every year at the
Charge
tree
them four or
lighting.
five
Yeah.
hundred bucks to do the event. But I guarantee you a lot of these food trucks would pass on it if they had to pay.
Yeah, so I think it's a win-win for the city bringing in
Yeah, 100%.
local.
Left bank,
If
put some money back in the pot.
when I say local, I mean within the city of Lake Forest
Sure.
because that's who pays the taxes here. I mean, no slight to business in Lake Bluff or in Highwood, but I think the priority is the businesses within your own city
Absolutely.
first, whether it's Left Bank, whether it's Duffers, Lantern, Chiefs. I mean, all the great establishments we got
Yeah.
here in town, Lake Forest Food and Wine. Um, so I think that would be a win, especially the small businesses. The
Yeah.
chains they can the chain restaurants. You know which ones I'm talking about. They can hold their own.
Jeff, why don't we have? I guess we have too much money coming into the city. I guess that's what Joe is saying because
Never said that.
he doesn't want more money coming into the city. But
Nope. Never said that. I would always, well,
what about
Costco
this stretch of
would have brought a hell of a lot more money in than any tournament, but
you're
okay.
against money coming into the city? I understand, Joe. So what
Fake news.
about going? This stretch of miles sponsored by so and so. This is sponsored by so and so.
What are we talking about the fields again?
In general, the field, like even next to Lane Tech, that was gravel. We were playing on gravel. Kerry Wood came in and put in Kerry Wood Field.
God bless Kerry Wood.
Yeah.
Former North Shore resident, former Christchurch of Lake Forest attendee, but now a Tennessee resident.
So
Yeah, I see it at hockey rinks. Some of them have, I mean, I don't know. Does it look gaudy? Maybe. I mean, it all depends. The Park District rinks, you very rarely see that at Pete. You see that more at private rinks and private fields, the sponsorships.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if it'll look great, but I mean,
Naming
I
rights?
think
Well,
I think the door is open on sponsorships now. I think that's a good
oh,
idea.
the
What?
capitalist and Joe is
like a
back.
scoreboard or something. If that's
Capitalist and Joe
Yeah.
never left, Drew. Pete.
Oh,
Sorry,
where do you
I'm
stop?
speaking to
Do
my
we
son.
are we putting stickers on the kids' helmets during
No,
football?
but
how about
look, we
where do we
have sign,
start?
but Jeff, we have signs now at the football game with sponsors like
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
where are we
willing.
doing
Endeavor
that?
Health
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I don't see an issue
And the ads are done on
with
a copy
that.
machine.
Yeah.
What?
Well, and Joe, the one thing I'll agree with Pete on this with these tournaments is it's not just the revenue of charging for the field. It's the amount of money that comes in. I mean, every restaurant in town would be booked.
Yeah.
Every clothing shop, Kittles will be slammed selling laces or whatever else. I mean,
Kids
it
forget
brings
stuff.
it
I see
brings
your point,
revenue
Jeff,
to the
but
city.
think
Hotels will be busy.
do you really think and check the email I sent you the guys the utilization the presentation that was made with all the data.
Sure.
So I
Did you
found
write
it on
it?
the
Did you make the
no, it was
PowerPoint,
on the
Joe?
city's website.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could have found it
Wait,
yourself.
what were you going
Could
to
you
ask? Do
find
I
the
really think what?
So I do you really think though, and I don't mean this sarcastically, do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
really think with the location of the athletic fields where they are
hmm
on was it Hastings or whatever that street is there,
400 Hastings. Yes.
that people are going to then go all the way over to your restaurant or the
Everywhere.
Chiefs
Yeah.
or to Kittles? And again, some of these tournaments are held, the time these tournaments want these fields are times that now you probably will be open, but Kittles might not be open. I don't know. I mean, it'd be one thing if, it was right next to the thing, but if somebody
The
coming
gas
here
station
from
will be
Fox
busy. Joe,
somebody coming here from Fox River Grove with their kid is probably
yeah.
just, when my kid was in tournaments,
Mm.
we pulled up, played the tournament, got
Jeff, do
back
you
in the
think the
car and went
fields are
home.
100% utilized that we can't do tournaments? What do you think?
Well, let me answer Joe's question first.
Okay.
Everyone
Did
has
he have a
Google.
question?
Everyone has Google, Joe. Everyone uses it. You see it everywhere. You see it in Gurney. You see it at the Recplex. The Recplex makes the whole area over there in Pleasant Prairie thrive just from their complex. I mean, it happens everywhere. Gurney does big tournaments. Yes, it brings in lots of revenue for the businesses. So I'm very pro tournaments, and whether it could even be at Route 60 fields, it could be at the ones in.
Well, and Recplex is a great facility up in is it Pleasant Prairie? Yeah, we've been there for ice skating tournaments with my daughter. The issue there is that doesn't compete with time for local programs. So in other words, when there's an ice skating tournament or a hockey tournament at Recplex, it doesn't shut out a local little league from the time they want. And
They all do,
that's the
but
challenge here is
yeah,
do you
I hear
tell the
you.
Lake Forest Little League, too bad, so sad, we got a tournament that's bringing in revenue,
What little league are we
do it.
kicking out in the middle of the summer?
Yeah, Joe. What?
We don't even have a little league.
Yeah, Joe.
Go look at the well,
Maybe
The
they're
maybe
running
we'll
the
government
take
made
maybe we
PowerPoint.
should take over the Lake Bluff Little League after the
yeah.
that horrible
I
incident in
mean, maybe they're running
Cooperstown. But no,
summer camps, and I don't
I don't want
know.
to pick on that whole league for you guys' actions there. But
Pete, I do
um
think Mike's doing a great job.
the
He is doing a
study,
good job,
yeah.
but I think we could continue. Like, I think tournaments are
And
the
again, if you disagree on the tournament decision made by the council, that has nothing to do with Mike Wick. Mike
wait. Did the
Wick is
council say no to tournaments? Is that what you just
the
said?
council. Go look at the presentation
Joe's
that
been
I sent
drinking the
you. And
government Kool-Aid.
oh, there's
No,
no government
I don't know.
Kool-Aid.
Did they say no? I have no idea.
They basically said that that the revenue that it would bring in
Yeah.
would not be substantive enough to justify in their
That means we're
decision.
lazy.
No,
No,
it
no,
just
no, no,
means
no,
that
no, no,
they're
no, no.
looking at
It was
their piece of it. They're looking at the Rex and
right now. Your
Outlaws
point about the
staff.
extra business for your business and stuff is a fair point. Um, I would hate to be in a position telling local taxpayers, too bad, so sad, you can't use this facility because we got a bunch of people coming in from Fox River
So if it's not
Grove
100%,
that are
Joe, hold on.
offering us
Are you
money instead.
if the fields are not 100% utilized, which you think they are, Would you be open to a
Never
tournament
said they
coming
were.
up?
You keep
Wait,
saying I
hold on.
say that,
No,
and every time you
no.
say it, it's wrong, Pete.
I think you're misrepresenting it a little though when you're saying we're not subcontracting the fields to Fox River Grove. What it would be the Lake Forest lacrosse tournament, the Lake Forest baseball
Yeah.
tournament, whatever. So all our teams would be playing in that same tournament, and we'd be the host. The Winter Club used to host a hockey tournament every Martin Luther King weekend, and you'd have
Right.
8 teams from all around. But
But
Winter
but
Club,
the Winter Club isn't paid for with tax dollars,
I
so
100%.
they have a right to do with their privately owned
No.
facility
But
that
my
they
point being,
choose.
they wouldn't do it unless it was a highlight for the members,
What I'm
right?
saying is, and I've seen this in other types of facility usage over the years in other communities, is there's a backlash from the community when they don't have access to a facility because of an outside group getting it. And the argument is, hey, we're paying a crap load in taxes for this place, and our kids don't get to use it, and you're letting kids from other towns use it before our kids.
I'm
That's
listening. I
again,
got 3 kids.
now you may disagree with that, and that's fair, but again, that's a council decision that has nothing to hang that on Mike Wick is
No,
completely
I agree.
unfair.
This is not on Mike.
Right.
But I would say with your point of like, this isn't a subcontract issue. This isn't us renting our
Right.
fields to another city. So that part, I got 3 young kids that play lots of sports. I that part I will respectfully disagree with. But I think it's good for sometimes it highlights we could grow Lake Forest baseball by having the Lake Forest baseball tournament, So
Fair
maybe
discussion to have down the road, but again, like I said, they take a look at that utilization study that they presented at a council meeting. So this is none of this was done in the dark of night.
no,
Okay, this
no,
was
no.
unless you go to bed at 5 o'clock like Scoo, but um, this was all done at an open meeting. There was a full discussion with full amount of data in there, and if the predecessors to the current park leadership said something different, I still think that even if that had not been brought up as a talking point when they were proposing those fields still would have been approved because uh, the the the
Fields are great.
improvement for kids activity and the maintenance costs are down. We're already saving money now on these fields on the maintenance costs. And they were able to pay for these fields without putting a dent in in the taxpayers. Now, the school district, they build a classroom and they have to raise all their taxes $1,000 a year. So who's running things more efficiently around here?
I don't think anybody is when you go in front of a bunch of taxpayers and say, here's how much money we need. Here's what we're going to do to bring in, and then they don't do it. That's misrepresentation.
But Pete,
They're misleading.
that was like line 12 in the justification.
You're
The
okay
number
with
one
governments misleading
justification,
us. You're okay with it.
Pete, there's a long list of government leaders on both
So
parties,
you're okay with it.
including people you vote for and have
So
bumper
you're
stickers
saying
for that
yes,
have
I'm
misled
okay.
people at some
I'm
point.
okay with the government misleading
No,
the
I'm okay with people making decisions that are the best decision at that moment. And sometimes what may have been a good decision a couple of years ago,
Jeff,
you
you run a business, okay, and you've been in government, okay. My problem is if you're going to go in front of a group of people and you say this is what it's going to cost and here are all the pluses and minuses, and then you take it away after the thing has been given to you, I got a problem with it. And the
So
governments
are you
keep doing
picketing
it.
the Illinois Tollway Authority? Because
I was
they've
gonna
been
say we
promising
learn.
for
Hey,
60 years to get rid of the tolls.
we
Could you
learn
let the
as we
business
go.
owner speak?
We learn as we go. So I have no
I own
problem with them
businesses too, Pete.
reassessing it. I just don't think that they take the total impact out of a thing. It is very easy to say it'll cost the rec center more money, and this is why we're not going to do it. But I think they're removing the impact. It
Look,
could
I
have.
think we're spinning our wheels here. Do
So
a deep dive on the presentation that the city made I don't know what the
I did
exact
a
date of
deep
that meeting
dive. I
was,
was
but
sitting in there in the workshop when they said, here's the
yeah, but
money.
did you look at this? Did you watch the presentation
Yeah,
where
I
they
watched the
updated the
bait and
data?
switch, Joe. I watched what they
There's no
said they're
bait
going
and
to do
switch.
and what they offered.
That's now you're buying into the transparency argument.
Okay. I was
Okay,
there,
Susan
Joe.
Garrett.
You weren't there, Joe. You weren't there. I was.
Okay, but
I
you
saw
weren't
it
at the
happen.
meeting where they explained why they are doing it the way they're doing it now.
Why we
So,
screwed you.
touche.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Transparency, when are you
I
hosting the Transparency podcast next?
Joe, you're okay with a bait and switch.
No, I'm okay with the best utilization of our resources at that moment. And Pete, things change, okay?
Yeah, that's why I said
Decisions
switch.
are made at
Here's the
the
carrot.
no,
Oh,
here's the
by the way,
thing.
here's what's going
You
to
would
happen.
have a ton of local residents
We're going to bring in all
at the
this money. Oh, no, we're
Pete,
not.
Pete,
Well,
you
we're going
didn't
to
let me
bring in this money.
finish.
Oh, no, we're not.
If you did what you want to do, you would have a ton of kids and their parents at the next city council meeting saying, "We can't play our games now
Joe, are they giving you a
because we're
parking
bringing
spot
in
over at City
these people
Hall? Is
from
that why?
outside the community who aren't paying taxes. We're paying for this facility. We should get first crack at it."
Didn't say they wouldn't.
Well,
First, you
look at
said
the
the fields are
utilization
booked.
study that says so.
Okay, so
Pete,
there
the
you go
data
again. The
is there.
utilization
The
study says that.
Pete,
Hold
Pete,
on, Joe.
there were 15
Utilization study says that you can't do tournaments, right? So that means it's 100% booked. You can't do it. So which is it?
never said 100%.
You know,
Okay,
you
You
know,
you
you
keep
know what's
saying
going to
that, and every
happen,
time you
Joe.
say it, it's wrong.
Pete is going to drive by on Saturday with a camera at this field, and
I'm
it's
sure he will, and I'm
I don't
sure he'll
have
find
to.
the one
Nothing's
time they're
there.
not.
Nothing's
But go
happening.
he's he's
look
going to
at
record everything.
Pete. Read the
Joe, are you the
presentation
city
before you read
shill?
the presentation. Here's your
You're the
homework,
city
Pete. Go
shill.
read this. I'm not a
Okay.
shill for anyone. I'll criticize
Okay.
anybody
You sound like a
when it's
shill to
merited.
me. I'm just saying.
Pete's
You
going to
sound
be
like a shill for the Lake Forest Transparency Group. Are you
Oh, that's
endorsing
exactly
Prue
what I
Beidler
am.
for mayor now? I mean, come
That's
on.
exactly what I am. Jeff,
uh,
we're almost done here. Any feedback from last week's show, or you got what's coming up for the smoke out on Sunday, which I'm curious about?
oh no, nothing. We're
Chilling.
nothing big this weekend. We got Chirac and stuff coming back next week. I think
Okay.
next week we gotta keep hammering down on parking in East Lake Forest. You know, I think there's some great things to talk about there. So hopefully next week, you guys,
What's the feedback on the parking? Anybody say anything about that?
yeah, no, it's crazy. I think they're starting to park on Scoo Street, so I'm glad he's not on the way. So
Park on his lawn.
they're literally parking on Oakwood. No, the problem
Leave
is
the engine running.
everyone's staff is parking up and down Western, so now people are parking in front of houses. Like, customers are parking in front of
But
people's
there's
houses.
plenty of parking on the other side of the tracks. I don't
But there,
understand why
but
people
so
don't.
here's the problem, Joe. A waiter gets to work at 4 o'clock, 4:30. They're going to take that premium spot out front, and then by the time the customers come around 6, the customers aren't going to park on the other side of the
Right.
track.
So way back when I worked in fast food in the Stone Ages, we were told we have to park in a certain spot.
And
And
that's what they say when a business wants to get a
if we
license. Our
didn't,
employees aren't going to park there, then they
we
do.
got shown the door by our employer.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
listen, some employers enforce it, some don't. What are you going to do? So,
Yeah,
but
it's really easy to
something that
get
it needs to
kitchen
be,
help too.
I think it's something that needs to be addressed, just to make sure that people have access. I mean, it's everywhere, and it's not just by us. I mean, up and down Friday night, 6 o'clock. People are parking in front of residents' houses, so they know the
But
trick. They go around to Oakwood. They go on
here's
average.
my point though on this, Jeff. The distance that you're walking to park in front of Scoo's house or somebody else's house is about the same distance than if you park on the other side of the track. The only difference is you got to cross a Western, but big deal.
Depending on where you
There's a
park
street
and where
light there.
it's pretty close. It's very similar. But yeah, I'm just saying we want
Hey,
to get
go to Highwood. You got to walk like 6 blocks to park for a restaurant. So this
you
is nothing.
you park at Teddy O's and you're in the middle of everything.
Oh, well,
That's secret.
hey,
Don't tell
when are we
anyone
going to do
that's
the show? Isn't the city of Highwood picking on Teddy O's?
well, yeah, but I think I
Wait,
mean,
Highwood?
yeah, well, they got in some trouble. I think Teddy O's got in a little bit of trouble,
Yeah, but
right?
they're trying to tear his business down and build like condos or something out here.
That's a rumor. Like I hear both sides of it. I don't know which one. Tony's a good dude. I like Tony, so I hear Tony's side a lot, and then
Tell Tony to come on.
This is oh look, Pete, big shiny
Well,
object
no,
here now. No, I mean
oh,
this is a lot like revenge. I mean this is
it's similar.
Nancy
I think it's
Rotering in
similar
the
to that situation, but then again, I think the Ravinia situation was more political. Tony's not a
yeah.
political person. I
Yeah, I
think
mean, but
Ravinia was
what's happening though
political
is
backlash.
The way I've heard it is that Teddy's property is they feel underutilized, so that they could knock his building down and put up something that would generate for the city a lot more revenue. So they want to use like eminent domain or something,
I don't think you
and
can. It's
they're
private property. There's no way.
so, well, it's happened elsewhere. I can show you many cities that have said we want that property so bad, we'll figure out a way to write this guy up for every little violation and make his life
But they
miserable
might want a
so
certain
that he
business
sells to
out and get
us.
a different kind of, yeah, knock it down like
Or
that. That I
you can
believe, but I
eminent,
don't think
the
they'll eminent domain.
government has these powers to do eminent domain and knock
The eminent
undesirable
domain has to be for
properties.
greater use. It has to be like you're building a
They
road.
feel, okay, well, there have been communities that have used eminent domain and said the
To
greater
take a
use
private
is,
property and turn it into public
sure,
use.
many times. Chicago does it all the time.
Yeah, but that is for like
Evanston's done it. Look at the whole downtown Evanston, what they did down there. They
I
did a
think you're
lot of
We
that.
carving out one
we let the
plot
guy
of Pinewood.
speak.
I don't know.
Jeff, Jeff, what's your opinion?
I don't think it's eminent domain. I don't think that's in the pipeline. I think maybe Teddy O's attracts a clientele that that's not favorable, and I think that they probably want to, that might have rubbed someone the wrong way, and they might want to flip that business. And maybe the plan is, but don't forget, he rents from somebody, right? There's a
Yeah.
landlord.
Right. So
Don't
the
build it.
landlord, I've heard the landlord is in on it with the city, and I don't
Sure,
know if
but the
that's true or
landlord
not.
signed a lease, and once that lease is over, he doesn't have to
Yeah.
renew the lease. He could say,
Oh,
"You're
speaking of landlords, we talked last week about the whole issue with the landlords in Lake Forest and the mayor's
Yeah, have the
request.
landlords cover the city's
So,
issues.
well, here's where the mayor is right. The mayor said if you go back and listen closely to his comments that
Okay, I'll
number
do that.
one, a lot of these landlords are going to make a lot more money once this property is completely redeveloped. Number two, in some cases, I've heard from a couple of the businesses there that the landlords signed leases with them knowing that this was going to happen and not telling the tenants
I believe
that
that.
this construction was going to happen.
I believe
So legally,
Ooh.
the mayor has no jurisdiction setting rent for private
Altunian
businesses, but he
Altunian
has the
said he's
bully.
going to
But here,
cover
let me
it.
finish. The mayor
Finish
has the
what?
bully pulpit. Just as President Trump told Walmart, "Don't you dare raise prices because of my tariffs."
You're
The
quoting him.
mayor
I'm
has a
quoting
right.
Altunian. Altunian said he's gonna help the businesses. You think Altunian's going to do that, Jeff?
Well, let's find out. I hope Altunian will. They
Todd's
own a
always
lot of
been
that property.
Todd's always been really good to me. So I got Todd and his sons
I
are
mean, the other one is
great
that
guys.
is that what's it, L3 that owns a lot of that.
Yeah, well, I didn't they sell? L3 used to own
Oh, maybe
Markel.
they did. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
so I thought they sold to the
But
teachers
there
hedge
are a
fund
couple
out of
instances, I'm
Ohio.
not going to get into the names here on the show, but there's a couple instances of businesses that I've heard were were signed that have you can figure this out based on who's entered Lake Forest the last couple of years where
Jeff, if you're
uh,
not one of those 22 businesses, are you in favor of this rent abatement and all this stuff that Randy was
not rent
talking about?
abatement.
Listen, landlords,
I heard
landlords.
abatement, but continue.
Listen, it's a business, right? You got to keep your customers happy. Your tenants are your customers, and you got to keep them in business, right? Because guess what? A guy going out of business is going to cost you money to get him out of there, to go through court, release it, etc.
Another art gallery.
I think it's a business model at the end of the day. Do you put it in front of you and you help someone out by sharing the pain a little? Maybe that's a great business plan. Walgreens, I don't think you have to help them. I think
And
Walgreens has.
I've been told that Walgreens is not going to bother their corporate office in
But my point
They're
is,
they're
I don't
going
think
out
not
a
of
going to,
land.
business
and the same
anyways.
thing with Lake Colonial. I think a couple
Right.
people were
I don't
saying, "Oh,
think
this was for Lake
landlord.
Colonial." That's
I
not
don't
true.
think a landlord has to help Walgreens, right? So I don't think.
Right.
I don't think a landlord has to go through certain. If there's a hedge fund marketing guy on your second floor somewhere, stuff like that. I don't think they have to. Mom and pop shops, yeah. I mean, if you can,
Yeah,
go.
legally they don't have to, but
Hey,
again, what the mayor was doing in his comment was he was just as the leader of our city, he was using the bully pulpit of the office, just as President Trump did with the tariffs,
yep.
to say, don't raise rent, give them a cut, just as the president said, don't raise prices, Walmart, because of these tariffs. You're still making a crap load of
We
money.
got a 3 million
Um,
surplus. Why don't we use some of that to help out these poor
Well,
we
businesses?
are using money to help out the businesses, Pete.
well,
We
Yeah,
set
hey,
aside
Joe,
a
I will
quarter of
say
a
this.
million dollars.
I would say
which is
this.
nothing,
If those,
Joe.
if
Nothing.
Deer Path
Tell
was
that to
is
Left Bank. It's something.
if
Okay.
Deer
Hey,
Path
hey,
was
Sue, you
vacant
think
and you
five
had short
grand's going to
lead
cover you?
times, the landlords would be asking for tax abatements during this
Right.
time.
No one ever, the mayor
Right.
himself said at the meeting that there's no way we can make you whole, but we feel this is a step in the right direction to help you get through this. Now, one idea that I've seen elsewhere in a couple communities that is worth considering is either a low interest loan or a no interest loan by the city to businesses to get them through this, and then they have to pay it back afterwards. Now, that's a little dicey because what if they don't pay it back?
Jeff,
Those
are they
types of
running
situations,
late?
but
Like,
it's
what's
been
the
done
issue here?
elsewhere in other
What's the problem with
communities.
Deer Path? Are they running late? What's the issue?
I
They're not
mean,
running late.
construction wise, I don't
I'm just
know.
saying, what is the
Here's one
business
thing
is
I think here's what I think we've learned from Deer Path. The next project, whether it's someone not telling someone it's coming, the
yeah.
next project should be blasted 2 years ahead of time, should be on the city site.
They did, though, Jeff. With
Well,
all due respect, they did. I mean,
okay,
I've never seen a more advertised, discussed construction
and the
project
businesses
than
then
this
hey, and
one.
the businesses had a plan because if you got something 2, 3
And
years,
these landlords all were told
right.
that this was
So
happening, and it was said at public council meetings. This was not done in the dark of the night. Now the Bank Lane thing, the reason they added Bank Lane onto this was because you have all those contractors there anyways.
yeah, it's cheap.
If you said we're going to do Bank Lane at a different time, you'd end up paying more in the long run to bring those contractors back. They're already there. They
And
are
hopefully
ahead
all
of
those
scale. Okay,
contractors are gonna
I
have
know it's
hot dogs.
and I know it's easy to say, oh, look, last week I saw nothing being done there. But the fact of the matter is, they are
There's
ahead
nothing
of
being done there.
schedule. Here's why if you cherry pick a day and pick a day there, the subcontractors that they hired, because we're in the subcontractor phase.
Work a Gantt
Have you
chart a little
managed a
bit better.
construction project, Pete? Have you ever managed a construction project? Because I have.
Yeah. Yeah, actually I have.
It's
Okay.
inspection. You're waiting on
So
inspection.
the subs have, they're waiting on a couple subs. But again,
Wait
there's
on
a
it better.
hold on, whoa. There's a contractual deadline that all of this must be done by the end of October. And the pace they're at now, they're looking at being done almost a month early. So the idea that this is not being done promptly is false. Okay. Cherry pick a day that somebody's not there. That's because the subcontractor's working on another
Did they make a
job.
projection that it would be easier to do business during this crap than it actually
No,
happened?
they never said that. In fact, they talked all about the mitigation from this construction throughout this process. Where were you? I mean, it was all talked about, Pete. They talked
I heard
about
it
that it
talked
would.
about it. They
Hey,
said,
the
hey,
only
it's
thing
going
that
to be
trips
no
me up
disruption.
is the other side of Bank Lane. Remember last year it went to a one-way
Yeah.
and now it's back to a two-way.
Well, at least through this, you had to put it
I
That's
back
all
got
the
in two
whiplash on
ways.
deliveries.
that.
A lot of the
I mean,
deliveries go on Bank Lane, right, Jeff?
No,
Beer,
but no.
food.
Last year, the other side of Bank Lane, right by
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
Grant
that was an
Chestnut, it went one
experiment.
way.
That
Someone
was an
missed that.
experiment.
Yeah.
So,
But that
look,
was,
but
I
that
mean,
was
other than
easily
that,
fixed.
all
yeah.
So,
right.
and maybe, who knows, maybe they'll go back to that later on after this is all done. But the idea that this is being done inefficiently or incorrectly is
You're
false.
amazing.
Oh, yeah, this is how it goes, man.
No, you're
Has everyone
amazing
been
for
on the
saying
damn line?
falsehoods.
Do you got the little
Again, you're
red book,
entitled to your own
little book of
opinion, but you're
Mao?
not entitled to your own set of facts,
Do you got
Pete. I
your little
mean,
red book of Mao?
I'm not the one who supports tariffs on goods
You're
here,
no,
but
you see, if you work for a real business, you have to
I
bring in
have.
real money. If you
Yeah,
don't,
and
you
they're
go out
bringing
of business.
so who's not bring, the city has the lowest tax rate in the county.
That's
What are you
great. Bring
talking
in more
about?
money. One is greater
Yeah,
than
and they're
zero.
bringing in a lot of money, okay?
Where?
But well, why is it go look at the school district. Where's their what's going on there that we all got our
$1,000 a year. I
taxes?
know that's where that's going.
What our taxes got increased $1,000 a year, and what do we have to show for it?
Really nice chimneys. Those chimneys
Like
are
I
great.
said,
The flashing on
so-
those chimneys.
And here's the reality, Pete. Let's go back to this. they were given options where they could have done all the construction at the school district and financed it in a way that the taxes wouldn't have gone up at that. So if you're angry, which you have every right to be, you ought to direct that anger at the school district because they're the ones that have jacked your taxes up the grant. Lake Forest has kept your taxes down.
See, and I'm going to leave it at this because I think it's the sixth time we've gone over it. They said they were going to bring in money, and then they didn't, and then they changed their mind. Now we don't need the money anymore. I got a problem with that, Joe.
Yeah, there were 13 points.
Put your little red book
and they did 12 of the
away.
13 points, but okay.
Jeff, Joe, great podcast. The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, JM, and Paul G.